Good to have you with us in this edition of the Urban Debate. Tonight, viewers, we're going to tell you the story of Vikas Dubey. We're also going to tell you the story of an unprecedented gun battle that unfolded late in the night in the city of Kanpur, in fact, in one of the villages in the Kanpur district. These were the scenes that should actually be out of a classic Bollywood gangster movie. If you hear the description, those are the kind of scenes that will run through your mind. Unfortunately, this was real. Unfortunately, we have lost 8 policemen in this gun battle. What was supposed to be a planned raid with a large team of policemen, about 17 of them. What was supposed to be a planned attempt to nab one of the biggest, most wanted gangsters of Uttar Pradesh ended in a disaster. And this happened because very clearly somebody tipped off Vikas Dubey. So when the police went in last night, his team was prepared. He didn't run away. He was prepared. His men were ready with arms and ammunition, with a trap laid. When the police arrived there was a earth mover, a land mover placed in the middle of the road. And as the cops got out, men fired on them from all the sides, positioned atop of the terrace, shooting very easily at these policemen who then got badly cornered in that zone. This is what happened. In the early hours then, a massive manhunt was launched because Vikas Dubey and his close associates had run away after this gun battle raged on. He is still free, he is still on the run. The police have managed to track down a couple of his aides. They got a tip-off that they were hiding in a jungle, went in there, another gun battle, another encounter took place where 2 criminals were shot dead. But the casualty count on the police side, the casualty count for the men in khaki is high, viewers. And so tonight we must talk about it. We must not just talk about this incident, but we must talk about this entire nexus that exists between the gangsters and the powerful in Uttar Pradesh, including their political connection. We must talk about how so many of them still thrive. Inside jail, outside jail, doesn't matter. How the entire village still supports these gangsters because obviously one of them tipped them off about the police coming. We're going to talk about the whole situation. How in a state like Uttar Pradesh, where the Adityanath government and police have been aggressively going after criminals and claiming that they have shot dead a large number of them in encounters and put a larger number of them behind bars, how is it that this kind of a jungle raj still exists? All of that will be discussed here tonight on the Urban Debate. But first up, like I said, I want to talk about who Vikas Dubey is, because that will give you a perspective into our conversation. And to help us understand, our managing editor, Vinay Tiwari, is joining us. Vinay, one of the most dreaded gangsters, extremely powerful man, politically connected, could be very clearly one of the lead protagonists from our Bollywood gangster masala movies.
Yes, that way. And you mentioned Bollywood masala movie. Even somebody like Anurag Kashyap or Ram Gopal Verma, who are the icons of gangster movies, couldn't have written it better. Just consider who Vikas Dubey is and how he rose. His rise began early 2000s. I mean, from 2000 to 2001 onwards is when he started rising in the world of crime. In many ways, a kind of a successor of Shri Prakash Shukla, who was another gangster who was very notorious in Uttar Pradesh, and ironically, for whom this entire special task force of Uttar Pradesh was created, because the local police in UP was just not able to catch Shri Prakash Shukla, and he was so well entwined with the local network that they had to create a separate police force to nab him. Now, his notoriety really took shape when he carried out an act that very few films can even conceive, which is this. There was a political leader, a person in the Bharatiya Janata Party. At that point of time, Rajnath Singh was the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, the current Defence Minister. A person holding a minister rank, Santosh Shukla, was addressing a Jan Sabha. And remember, a Jan Sabha in a place like Kanpur would have about 200, 300 people odd attending that Jan Sabha. He opened fire on the minister. shot him and grievously hurt him. The minister was able to escape, so he ran into a nearby police station and hid himself in a lockup. Most criminals would actually run away in a situation like this, not Vikas Dubey. He walked inside the police station and shot this person, the minister in that government, dead inside the lockup. Predictably, obviously the case was registered, a charge sheet was filed, not a single witness turned up in the court of law, and everybody in this case got acquitted. This is how he gained notoriety. And the fact of the matter is that Vikas Dubey since then has not looked back. Every single political party that you can think of has used him in their elections. He himself started developing political ambitions, and this whole concept of criminals turning politicians and politicians using crime is symbolized by how Vikas Dubey acted. He himself contested elections while he was inside jail. The Nagar Panchayat elections, won that election. His wife is a current Zilla Panchayat member herself. And the entire gang that operates out of this place specializes in land grabbing and extortion. Can you imagine? Here is a criminal who has almost 60 cases against him currently. He's been arrested 6 times under the Gunda Act, 7 times under the Gangster Act, and each time that he gets arrested, he gets bailed out within a month and a half or so. He's never really spent more than a couple of months in a jail at a stretch at any given point of time. He was once arrested from Krishna Nagar in Lucknow, which is not very far from the Lucknow railway station, by the STF ironically. And in that case too, he got bailed out pretty quickly. So you can imagine the kind of clout he enjoyed, and the clout he enjoyed simply by virtue being on the side of the party who is ruling Uttar Pradesh. He was first a member of the BSP, and then of course hobnobbed with a whole lot of other parties that governed that state as well, Tanvi.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, the point that you made, and I just want to come back to you on that point, the fact that there are over, 50 cases against him, serious charges, the fact that it's widely known that he actually chased a minister inside a police station where the minister tried to hide, and he still shot him, and he still got away with that. He was acquitted in that because of lack of obviously witnesses and evidence. There was a time where even the policemen, not just locals or the witnesses, were scared to speak up against him. But that being said, Vinay, now we're looking at a different era. How is it that even in 2020, such guys managed to get away?
Yes, it's surprising because remember, Mr. Yogi Adityanath's government stated official policy has been to finish off crime and use encounters as a mean of finishing crime. They've not been defensive about it at all. Every time issue has been raised about unending encounters in Uttar Pradesh, they've always said that it is necessary to fight crime, and for doing that, if there are a couple of criminals who get killed in encounters, so be it. It's very ironical that a man as notorious as Vikas Dubey has still not been nabbed at least or brought to justice, or even an action has been taken against him. The fact of the matter is, even in this particular case, Tanvi, what happened this morning, just consider this. This man was at his house. This is a place where he actually stays. It's not a hideout. It's not somewhere he was hiding. This is where he is, a very heavily guarded house in a village which is very loyal to him. He obviously got an advance information that the police party was on his way to raid, because he would have taken some time to organize a JCP, to block the road, and to ensure that the police party cannot progress. Any other gangster or any other person who probably had some bit of worry and fear of the police would have actually used that time to run away, because he got the tip off. He didn't run away. He wanted to take them on. He wanted to challenge them, and he wanted to gun them down. And in about 25 to 30 minutes, armed with very sophisticated weapons, if you have a gangster whose men can stand on rooftops and open random firing on a party of policemen which has about 17 odd people, including the DYSP and the circle officer of the area, it tells you that the man has absolutely zero fear of deterrence of law. And that perhaps is the big question on why, despite a so-called such an aggressive stand that has been taken by the government, you still have a criminal who seems to have absolutely no fear of law at all.
Absolutely. Vinay Tiwari, thank you so much for joining us and really, giving us insights into Vikas Dubey, because any conversation that we're going to have tonight really will take off from this point. The fact that such people exist, they thrive inside jail, outside jail, doesn't matter. And for years together, irrespective of who's in power, whichever political party is in power, they manage to get their connections going. They manage to continue with whatever scams and rackets they are carrying out. What happens now, of course, remains to be the big question. Vinay Tiwari, thank you so much for joining us. Let me also say good evening to V.N. Rai, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Naveen Srivastava, spokesperson for the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer, and Mr. Sharat Pradhan, senior journalist, also joining us this evening. Mr. V.N. Rai, let me begin with you. Just if you would want to add to this one specific gangster and the kind of havoc he's created in Uttar Pradesh over the last couple of decades, where despite repeated attempts, we've not really, managed to stop him.
Only one thing, that he was on the right side of the time. He belonged to an upper caste. He was a Brahmin. He had lots of money, and all the political parties have used him. So these are the three deadly combinations. In Uttar Pradesh, any criminal, if he belongs to the upper caste, if he has money and then he has muscle, all the political parties are willing and they are rushing to him to take help of him. So naturally, all the political parties, I may not like to name them, they have utilized him. Only thing is that this time he has gone, he's a daredevil. As you might have heard that he entered inside a police station and killed somebody. Because any criminal, if I believe what your political editor was telling, that he had a prior information, any any criminal would have loved to run away. Because you cannot take on police in a situation like Uttar Pradesh. It is not J&K, it is not Manipur. So first thing you do, you run away. But this fellow decided to stay back. This fellow decided to fight police, and this fellow killed 8 policemen. That shows that he was totally reckless. He was out of his mind. In Uttar Pradesh, this is a normal situation. As I told you that if you have 3 deadly combinations, then as a criminal you can thrive.
Yes, you have made a very, very valid point. If it's a deadly combination of 3 to 4 factors which has enabled him to thrive so far. But let me also take our viewers through what really happened, because, this shows the audacity of the man. The fact is that there was a complaint that was filed in the day, yesterday, basis which a case of attempt to murder was registered. Somehow the police found one villager who found the courage to be the complainant in this case. A case was actually filed, and then the planning began. There were multiple teams that actually came together and then decided to go and raid his location, raid his residence. So multiple teams actually came together. But by night, when they moved in, clearly by then he had the information. So what does Vikas Dubey do? He doesn't run away. He gets his men in place. He prepares. Their weapons are prepared. They're all ready. They're in their position, waiting for the police to then arrive. As the police arrives, a gun battle ensues. These men open fire at the cops. They're caught unaware. And we're given to understand it was a while before, they were able to get out or get any kind of a backup help as well. So clearly, something went wrong that even the police team did not anticipate. Now, my question is, how is it that the police team didn't anticipate that? Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, good evening to you. While we are still waiting for detailed reports on how prepared the policemen were, if they all were wearing bulletproof jackets, but surely they would have known that this is a dreaded gangster who would probably have weapons and will hit back.
Let me first commiserate with the UP police, because they've lost their 8 brave hearts who were martyred in this battle. Let me also say something just as a prelude to what you're asking me. The grassroots politics of India today is dominated by one overriding theme: how to subvert the lower bureaucracy by the politicians. And this happens because when the institutional delivery fails, then the political dispensation takes over, and in a selective manner. That describes why the entire village is with this gangster and criminal. Let me also say that there have been, during many chief ministers' regimes, the operation to clean up the mafia. You remember during Kalyan Singh's regime, they said, police had a free hand. You remember Rajnath Singh regime, same thing happened. During Mayawati regime, the same thing happened. And now also under Yogi Adityanath, there is a campaign to flush out the mafia. The mafia survives because the mafia has very deep links inside the village, and obviously he had the information. Now, the other problem, the second part is the police infrastructure upgraded on a task oriented basis? No. If you find out the same police station or the same district would have had no incremental infrastructure in the form of extra force, SWAT, the special forces to take care of this gangster who has been alive and kicking since 2001. And therefore, when the policemen went, even when they were 17 in number, they were obviously not prepared with high-scale guns which had the capacity to fire. Secondly, they also wanted to avoid any kind of a collateral damage. Thirdly, they also knew that there'll be a tremendous kind of resistance, yet they called for forces much later. This is characteristic of the policing at this level. I feel very sorry, and I don't blame the policemen. But this thing has happened in Bihar when Shahabuddin was there. Mr. Ansari has shown this same thing in UP. And as Vinay Tiwari described it so well, the history of this kind of gangsterism continues in these, feudalist affected places like Bihar, UP, etc. And that's why I'm not surprised that the policeman got ambushed by his people. But one thing, let me say in the end, this time he has bitten more than he can chew. And finally, his nemesis will come now, sooner or later.
No, you're absolutely right, and I completely agree with you that it's probably unfair and incorrect to blame the policeman, the troop on the ground. He's going to be able to do as much as he's given the power to do, and he's enabled to do or trained to do. If he's not properly trained, if he's not given the right kind of weapons or bulletproof jackets, and the support system, if he doesn't know how to plan this, how to go about it, doesn't have the support of his seniors, it's difficult. But the seniors, by now, at some point, we will have to start looking at overhauling the entire policing system, especially in states like Uttar Pradesh, where it is a huge, widespread problem. It's not just one or two locations. Mr. Naveen Srivastava, firstly, specific to this case, I know Chief Minister has spoken about it and he's assured the families that justice will be done. But somewhere we will also have to find out if the policemen were not ready, and why were they not ready? Were they not trained properly to handle this kind of a situation? Especially in a state like Uttar Pradesh with your government, where you have now become the encounter experts.
सनी जी देखिए, निश्चित रूप से कहीं ना कहीं चूक तो हुई है। वो तैयारियों के संबंध में है, किसी इनसाइडर द्वारा जो है उनको सूचना दी गई, ये तो है, और इसकी जांच हो रही है कि आखिर ये समस्या आई कहां से और किस कैसे ये दुर्घटना हुई। देखिए, सबसे बड़ी चीज है जो लगातार हमारे पूर्ववर्ती दोनों बड़े पुलिस अधिकारियों ने चर्चा की कि उत्तर प्रदेश में संगठित अपराधी कैसे फले फूले। 2001 में जो व्यक्ति थाने में हत्या करता है और उम्र कैद की सजा होती है, फिर वो छूट जाता है। उत्तर प्रदेश में 2017 में जब माननीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी के नेतृत्व की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनी, तो कानून व्यवस्था हमारी सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता थी और हमने उस दिशा में काम किया। उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराधियों के खिलाफ, जहां समाजवादी पार्टी के 5 साल के कार्यकाल में आप देख लीजिए, शायद एक आध मुठभेड़ हुई हो, वो भी नहीं हुई। 100 से अधिक अपराधी मारे गए हमारी सरकार में, 100 सैकड़ों की संख्या में गिरफ्तार किए हुए, और ऐसे अपराधी जिनका गाजीपुर से गाजियाबाद तक आतंक था, उनको जेलों में हार्ट अटैक होने लगे। पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश में एक मुकीम काला नाम का अपराधी, जिसके आतंक से पूर्वी पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश के सैकड़ों हिंदू परिवार पलायन कर गए थे, वो जान की भीख मांग रहा था। जिस विकास दुबे की आज हम चर्चा कर रहे हैं, 2017 में हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद यूपी की एसटीएफ ने उसको लखनऊ से गिरफ्तार किया था, और राय साहब बता रहे थे, विनय तिवारी जी बता रहे थे कि बहुत जल्दी छूट जाता था। मैं थोड़ा सा उनको करेक्ट करना चाहूंगा कि 2017 में जब ये गिरफ्तार हुआ तो 1.5 वर्ष तक ये जेल में रहा। जमानत होने के बाद ये बाहर गायब हो गया था। जब पुलिस को यह सूचना मिली कि अब ये गांव में आकर रहने लगा है और फिर आपराधिक घटनाओं को शुरू किया है, तो पुलिस लगातार इसके तलाश में थी, और उस दिन भी पुलिस पार्टी इसीलिए जब इसका सूचना हुई कि ये घर पे है, तो छापा मार के इसको पकड़ने गई थी। और ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना वहां पर हुई। एक चीज तमीज जी मैं और बताना चाहूंगा, हमारी सरकार ने 2017 में उत्तर प्रदेश विधानसभा में एक प्रस्ताव लाए थे हम, जिसका नाम था यूपी कोका। उसमें दो प्रमुख चीजें थी। एक तो ऐसे अपराधी जो अपराधी टर्न पॉलिटिशियन हो गए हैं, उनके खिलाफ स्पेशल कोर्ट्स बनाई जाए। दूसरा, उन्होंने अपने आपराधिक साम्राज्य के तौर पर जो आर्थिक साम्राज्य खड़ा कर लिया था, जिसके कारण उनके जेल में रहते हुए भी उनके गुर्गे उनके साम्राज्य को बनाए हुए थे, उसकी रीढ़ तोड़ने के लिए हमने प्रावधान किया था कि उनकी संपत्तियों को हम जब्त करें। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से विधान परिषद में हमारी बहुमत नहीं थी, और ऐसे राजनीतिक दल जो इन अपराधियों को, सफेद पोश अपराधियों को, माफियाओं को संरक्षण देते थे, उन्होंने उस बिल को टर्न डाउन करा दिया ताकि हम ऐसा न कर पाए। लेकिन उसके बावजूद हमारी सरकार लगातार इस दिशा में काम कर रही है, और ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना हुई है निश्चित रूप से।
नहीं, पर आपने मुझे इतने सारे गिनाए, आपने इतने सारे एग्जाम्पल मुझे गिनाए जहां पे आपने एक्शन लिया, पर क्लियरली इस केस में तो आप भी मानेंगे श्रीवास्तव जी कि उनको कोई डर नहीं था पुलिस का। उनको पता था पुलिस आने वाली है, बड़े नंबर में आने वाली है, और वो तैयार थे, वो भागे नहीं वहां से। विकास दुबे भागा नहीं, वो वहां पे रुका और उसने तैयारी की और उसने अटैक किया। तो अगर पुलिस का डर हो, वो जो क्रिमिनल्स में होता है, वो तो अभी तक नहीं पहुंचा यहाँ तक, वो हमें एक चीज देखनी पड़ेगी। चलिए, आपने जो दूसरी बात उठाई कि जो पॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट रहता है इन गैंगस्टर्स को, वो खत्म करना है। घनश्याम तिवारी, वो कैसे खत्म होगा? को पार्टीज मैं आती हूँ, वापस आपके पास आऊंगी नवीन जी, मैं आपके पास वापस आऊंगी, लेकिन मुझे घनश्याम तिवारी से ये सवाल पूछना है कि ये वादे तो सब करते हैं घनश्याम तिवारी, लेकिन सरकारें बदल जाती हैं, पार्टियां आती हैं जाती हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कम एंड गो इन पावर एंड नथिंग चेंजेस। दिस मैन एंजॉयड पॉलिटिकल पेट्रोनेज इन एवरी गवर्नमेंट irrespective of who was there.
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो मैं जो 8 पुलिसकर्मी हैं जो मारे गए हैं, उनके प्रति श्रद्धांजलि देना चाहता हूं और उनके परिवार के साथ अपनी संवेदना व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं। This clearly shows that everything that Yogi Adityanath government has said is fake, just like their encounters. The case in 2017, which their spokesman was just talking about, in the same month when this happened, the headline in Patrika newspaper was, भाजपा नेताओं से ने बचाकर करवाया था surrender. This was when a BJP minister was killed. It is the BJP leaders who saved him and forced him to surrender in 2002. So BJP can say whatever it wants to say, but the reality is, in the current Vidhan Sabha, 88 MLAs have serious criminal charges that belong to BJP. More than 100 have criminal charges. The chief minister and the deputy chief minister, you put together the charges on them, it will exhaust our mark sheets. जितनी हमारे पास मार्कशीट नहीं है, उससे ज्यादा वो चार्जशीट बटोर सकते हैं। तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के दावे, उनके झूठ खोखले साबित होते हैं। ये इस एनकाउंटर में दिखाता है। ये दिखाता है कि the police team was not prepared well. If the Yogi government for last 3 years has been talking about their public policy of encounter, which we have always opposed, then at least even in that public policy they have to be good. It cannot be that the headlines read that 8 policemen killed, several injured, such gangsters run away with the rifles and other arms and ammunitions. And you look at the house footages that is coming out. This guy has all the fascinating cars. In 2017 and 2018, he was accused of operating through jail. And there are several gangsters who operate through jail right under the nose of Yogi Adityanath. We have seen what happened in Kuldeep Sengar. So first and foremost, it's a complete failure.
But I understand what you're saying, Ghanshyam Tiwari. But how? But this is not new. With what face will you question the BJP when this is nothing new? This is how it's always been in Uttar Pradesh. It's in perhaps slightly better, if not worse, during the BJP government's term. But a lot of this is legacy that your party has left behind, including your own party's links with this man and several other gangster leaders.
Tell the families of this policemen that this is not new. Governments are elected based on the promise of betterment that they made. We brought UP 100. What are 3 things that BJP has improved in law and order situation in Uttar Pradesh? By creating a diktat that we can kill at will and call it an encounter. Is that an improvement? You cannot give an alibi. No one can give an alibi to this government for completely pulverizing the system that has existed. They are elected. A previous government is thrown out. They are elected because they promised to improve the system. But if they come on the force of gangsters themselves, They have people with serious criminal charges. They make people like Yogi Adityanath and Keshav Prasad Maurya as their chief ministers and deputy chief ministers. Do you think the system is going to improve? These are the people who benefited from this system. So no one should give alibi saying that this has happened in the past. Those governments were thrown out because people are fed up for that. And when we don't act, we don't improve the system, the next time people will throw us out if we are voted in. So this government must be thrown out because it just makes hollow promises and it powers gangsters like Vikas Dubey. Even today, the Kanun Mantri, the law minister, you can find photographs of law minister with Vikas Dubey in the last 2-3 years. So they don't have a face except that they have hollow arguments to make.
You can find posters. You can find posters of his wife with Samajwadi Party leaders. You can find the kind of direct links he had with the BSP.
That is blatant fake news circulated.
He has survived and thrived during the Samajwadi Party rule. Can you deny that?
Yes. I'm
Can you deny that he has survived and thrived in the Samajwadi Party rule?
I'm coming to that. Allow me to answer that. That was an election where no one fought on Samajwadi Party.
No, I'm not asking you about the poster. That poster was a retort to you saying that there are photos for this and that. The photos and the posters can be made anywhere. That was exactly my point, Ghanshyam Tiwari. But the larger point still remains that nobody can deny that he had political links, whether Akhilesh Yadav was the chief minister or Mayawati was the chief minister.
I am categorically first and foremost stating that by repeating that, you are repeating the fake news propagated by an India TV journalist, Sushant Sinha. This poster existed from a time when his wife was not an our symbol, but it is used by BJP and its journalists, including Sushant Sinha, to hide behind the jungle raj that exists today. You're talking about a poster that was illegitimate in 2004-2005 to justify how a gangster which roams freely with the law minister can kill eight policemen. Why are we giving alibi to Adityanath government? What have they done? They have at will.
Nobody is giving any alibis here. The only point I am trying to make is that Ghanshyam Tiwari, listen to me now. Listen to me. You've come on the show after a really, really long time. At least listen to what I have to say. I am simply telling you that just as you want to draw links by talking about a picture, others are also drawing the same links by talking about a poster. It's irrelevant. The fact that he has thrived, managed to run his rackets, his scams, kill people, kidnap people, inside jail, outside jail, whatever it is, he has done it, irrespective of who has been in power. That's something you cannot deny. Even when Samajwadi Party was in power. So let's not try and hold a higher moral authority or a higher moral ground. That's all I'm saying.
Tell me one incident where 8 policemen were mercilessly killed by a gangster like this in a reasonably urban location. Tell me one instance.
I will ask Naveen Srivastava that question, but I want to go across to Sharad Pradhan as well. Good evening, Mr. Pradhan. Thank you for patiently waiting by... No. I'm not going to have this yelling here. What is wrong with people? Why are we yelling so much? It seems everybody's forgotten what platform, what channel and what conversation we are on. This is urban debate. Can we please all calm down? Now, good evening to Mr. Sharad Pradhan. Mr. Sharad Pradhan.
Good evening.
Give us your insights. What has happened today? What does that go on to show? Who do we ask the questions to? Is it the government's fault? Is it the top policemen who've still not been able to fix the situation of law and order?
You very rightly pointed out that these kind of criminals always thrive whatever the regime be, because they conveniently switch loyalties to the party, whichever party is in power, and the party's leaders very warmly welcome them and bring them under their patronage. And this is exactly what Vikas Dubey has been doing over the years. And that is why, at the moment, he was closely affiliated with the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party. And you know, there have been a lot of half-truths that you have heard on the channel so far. You know, as a matter of fact, what he did, it was not a surprise to him. He obviously knew. There was a tip-off to him. It's very evident. If anybody is trying to give the policemen involved in this whole thing a clean sheet, I think it's being very unfair to others who have lost their lives, because there was a definite tip-off to him that a larger contingent is coming. But the fact of the matter is that there were two police parties which went to him earlier, an hour or two earlier. It was the station officer of the local Thana who went there, Mahesh Yadav, and this chap, when he went there with 4 cops, why? Initially, because this man was involved in a loot earlier in the day. He had looted somebody's cash right in that same day, few hours earlier. So this chap went to persuade him to return the money. The chap, the victim whose money had been taken away, had also gone with them. This is the inside story. And they were beaten up, bashed, and humiliated by this gangster in his house. So they had to run away from there, and then they informed their superiors, who in turn directed another station officer of the Chaubepur Thana to go there, some Singh fellow. And then they went together. They were again given the way they were humiliated. They had to make a quick retreat. Otherwise, they would have been beaten or probably killed that time only. Thereafter, a larger contingent of about 4 dozen cops was sent under the leadership of the Deputy Superintendent of Police, this Mishra. And that is when you obviously knew that he came to know that they are coming. And the gates were left open. The gates of his mansion in that village were left open. As soon as they entered, the firing started. There was a JCB parked there. The firing started from there, and there were other men on the rooftop. So it was before they could even think of doing anything. They were, and then mind you, the four of the cops, that is the deputy SP, 2 sub-inspectors, 3 sub-inspectors, they were gunned down right there instantly. And 4 others who died, they received bullets on their back. Obviously, they were running away from there because they had to save their lives. The others sped away from there in panic. Why? Because of the poor arrangements that they were there, the preparation with which they had gone. And for that, some senior officer is supposed to be responsible for that. Mind you, the district police chief has a very poor reputation. The perception about him is that he is blatantly corrupt, and he is obviously, when you are corrupt, you are doing all kinds of wrong things for the wrong people. And no action has been taken against him so far. All this talk of that this time he will not be able to chew, he's tried to chew more than he can bite. This is, I think it sounds very naive and very, very juvenile. Because after the killing of 8 people, you say that now we will do this. It's a shame for anybody to be defending them. And mind you, a similar action had taken place in 1981 when Vishwanath Pratap Singh was the chief minister, and he had launched a tirade against dacoits. At that time, dacoity was a major problem here. 6 people, including his own cousin brother, who was a High Court judge, 6 cops and the High Court judge were gunned down by bandits. And Vishwanath Pratap Singh had the courage to resign. Do you think in today's politics anybody will take that step? How? Because
I take your point, Mr. Pradhan, and in fact, that's a question I do want to ask the BJP. But before that, because I know you made a specific reference to a comment that was made by Mr. Azad, let me ask Mr. Azad if he wants to respond to that. Why is it, Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, that you're confident that this time, Vikas Dubey may be held responsible for his actions?
It will be, because as I told you, the political dispensation works on a selective basis. Now that the state is being questioned and the chief minister has gone there will be a tremendous operation to flush him out, and he will meet his nemesis. I understand the angst of Mr. Sharad Pradhan. I have been in this business for a long time. I don't know what he means by naivety, and I don't know what he means by it. I have seen both the pressmen and the politician at the lowest and the highest levels. And let me stand my ground by saying that this system will continue. The wounds will fester For the simple reason, Tanvi, there are two things I want to bring to you. One is security and law and order management is a serious business. Today it is taken as a largesse. The security will be given to anyone. The home ministers of the various states lord upon the police and lord upon the various instruments associated with thee. Second is your broken criminal justice system. And you have seen in the case of Vikas Dubey, there is no one who gives evidence against him. There is, even if he goes to prison, the entire prison authorities will fete him and felicitate him. And the police, where he's right when he's talked about the SP and the local SHOs who are posted at behest of the local powers that be. In fact, the first thing a politician wants today in every district is to have his own Thanedar, Tahsildar, Patwari, SP, collector, and additional. This is a system which will not go away in a hurry. And that is why the Supreme Court reforms which are ordered in 2005 have not been brought about by the various states. No state wants it done. So whether it's any party...
Correct.
I'm very distressed by the political debate we had just now. This shows the way they take these issues lightly. 8 cops have died. And one thing only I agree with Mr. Shailendra Pradhan, Mr. Pradhan, what he said was, yes, the higher authorities should have realized that if Vikas Dubey is such a criminal, he's such a man who has indulged in brazen defiance of authority, the police should have been better prepared. But let me tell you also another thing. This district would have had still a broken infrastructure which would be there, and that's why they could have done nothing about it. These are realities, and we don't want to do anything about it. So merely speaking and expressing the angst will not make a difference.
Yes. Okay, let's pick up on that reality. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Since things don't change and we have lost 8 lives, 8 policemen have been killed in this, and at least now this should trigger a change. So, Mr. Naveen Srivastava, tell me, who will you hold accountable? Should the senior police leadership there not be held accountable? जब आप उनको तैयारी से भेजेंगे ही नहीं तो यही तो होगा फिर. और मुझे ये बताएं कि आपकी सरकार ने जब से आप आए हैं उत्तर प्रदेश में, सरकार आपने बनाई है, तब से क्या किया है पुलिस को एम्पावर करने के लिए? कितने रिफॉर्म्स हुए हैं?
बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न आपने किया कि जब से हम सरकार में हमने क्या किया. देखिए, उत्तर प्रदेश में प्रति 1 लाख व्यक्ति जो सिपाहियों की संख्या होनी चाहिए थी, सब इंस्पेक्टर की संख्या होनी चाहिए थी, और बहुत ही कम थी. उत्तर प्रदेश में लगभग 1.5 लाख के आसपास सिपाही की संख्या कम थी और 10,000 से अधिक सब इंस्पेक्टर की कम थी. दुर्भाग्य ये था कि उत्तर प्रदेश में हमारी सरकार आने के पहले जितनी भी भर्तियां हुई, उसके लिए उच्च न्यायालय इलाहाबाद को यह कहना पड़ा कि ये सारे भर्ती आयोग एक जाति विशेष के आयोग बन गए हैं. इसलिए सारी भर्तियां हो के निरस्त हुई, कहीं अदालतों में पड़ती रही. हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद हमने 70,000 से अधिक नए सिपाहियों की भर्ती की, 7,000 से अधिक सब इंस्पेक्टर की भर्ती की. और एक चीज मैं और बताना चाहूंगा, बात हो रही थी कि राजनीतिक दल क्या करते हैं, कैसे इन अपराधियों को बढ़ावा मिलता है, कैसे अपराधियों के अधिकारियों के ट्रांसफर पोस्टिंग, जैसा भी आजाद साहब ने कहा कि पटवारी, थानेदार, एसपी, एसएचओ सब नेता अपने हिसाब से कराना चाहते हैं. इसकी शुरुआत शीर्ष से होती थी. उत्तर प्रदेश में ऐसे ऐसे लोग उत्तर प्रदेश के डीजीपी बनाए गए जो वरीयता क्रम में 13वें नंबर 14वें नंबर पर थे, लेकिन पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को उनके जो पॉलिटिकल वेंडेटा है, जो उनकी राजनीतिक तुष्टीकरण उसको सूट करते थे या उनके इंटरेस्ट को सूट करते थे. उत्तर प्रदेश में हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद हमने यह
वो सब सही है श्रीवास्तव जी, लेकिन मुझे अब ये बात नहीं करनी है कि पहले क्या होता था. मेरा सवाल आपसे बहुत सीधा था कि क्या बदलाव आप लाए हैं, कि अगर बदलाव लाए हैं तो इतने बड़े गैंगस्टर को पकड़ने के लिए गई है पुलिस, ऐसा कैसे हो सकती है कि उनकी तैयारी नहीं थी? यही तो सवाल है.
मैडम जरा 2 मिनट का वक्त दीजिए, मैं वही बता रहा हूँ कि हमने क्या सुधार किए. बोलते हैं जब शीर्ष पर बैठा अधिकारी अपनी योग्यता के आधार पे होगा, अपनी वरिष्ठता के आधार पे होगा, तो निश्चित रूप से नीचे तक उसका असर जाता है. हमने उत्तर प्रदेश में शीर्ष पदों पर से लगाए हर जगह नियुक्तियों को बहुत पारदर्शी तरीके से अधिकारियों की योग्यता के और वरिष्ठता के आधार पर किया. ये हमने एक परख किया. हमने सिपाहियों की भर्ती की, हमने सब इंस्पेक्टर्स की भर्ती की, और हमने इस प्रकार के संगठित आपराधिक गिरोहों को, जो राजनीतिक संरक्षण में फल फूल रहे थे, उनको तोड़ने के लिए ही यूपी को का हम लाए थे, जिसको टर्न डाउन कर दिया गया। लेकिन उसके बावजूद वर्तमान में कानून के अंदर जो भी प्रावधान, उसके हिसाब से हम काम कर रहे थे। आज देखिए, जो मुख्य विषय बार बार चर्चा में आ रहा है कि क्या हमारे ये बहादुर जवान पूरी तैयारी के साथ नहीं गए थे, कुछ कमी थी, कोई टिप ऑफ उसको पहले अपराधी को मिल गई थी। ये सारी चीजें जांच की विषय है और इसको हम बहुत गंभीरता से ले रहे हैं कि कैसे ये दुर्घटना हुई, कैसे ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण चीजें हुई। इसके लिए हम लगातार काम कर रहे हैं और इस दुर्घटना से हम सबक लेके आगे कैसे बेहतर।
नहीं, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है। मुझे समझ ये नहीं आ रहा है, मिस्टर वीएन राय, आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द आर्गुमेंट दैट इज बीइंग प्रेजेंटेड टू मी। इज इट बीइंग सेड दैट बिकॉज the police recruitment was so weak, it was so rotten and so corrupt that they are dealing with a legacy of a bad set of policemen, including the current police leadership in Uttar Pradesh? Is that what it is? Can the government not fix that?
देखिए, श्रीवास्तव जी जो कह रहे हैं बहुत सही कह रहे हैं। पहले अभी जो मुख्यमंत्री जी, इनके पहले वाले जो मुख्यमंत्री थे, वो एक खास जाति के लोगों को अपॉइंट करते थे। अब ये मुख्यमंत्री जी दूसरी जाति के लोगों को अपॉइंट कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें कोई फर्क नहीं आया है। गड़बड़ ये हुआ श्रीवास्तव जी को मैं सिर्फ याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ कि जो हमारे अभी के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, उन्होंने उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस को अपराधियों का एक संगठित गिरोह बना दिया है। हम एनकाउंटर कर रहे हैं, मतलब हम पकड़ रहे हैं, लोगों को जबरदस्ती मार रहे हैं, जिसका हमें कोई अधिकार नहीं है। और जहाँ भी अपराधी मजबूत है, जाति के आधार पर, पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस के आधार पर, पैसे के आधार पर, उसका कुछ नहीं हो रहा है। ये कानपुर का उदाहरण उसी का उदाहरण है, कानपुर की जो घटना है। मैं सिर्फ जो अभी ये कीर्तिवर्धन ने कहा, मैं उसको समर्थन कर रहा हूँ कि इस आदमी ने अब कुछ ज्यादा ही कर दिया, विकास दुबे ने। मेरा एक प्रोफेटिक वो है, जो आप देखिएगा अगले 2-3 दिन में या तो ये मारा जाएगा या सरेंडर करेगा। सरेंडर करने के लिए पूरा सिस्टम हमारा तैयार है, इसको अदालत में सरेंडर करा देगा या ये मारा जाएगा। अब इसने इतना ज्यादा कर दिया है कि जो शायद ये सिस्टम भी स्वीकार न कर पाए। लेकिन मैं इससे बिल्कुल सहमत नहीं हूँ कि अभी उत्तर प्रदेश में कोई बड़ा सुधार हो गया है या पुलिस बड़ी इफेक्टिव हो गई है। पहले एक खास जाति के लोग थे, अब दूसरी जाति के लोग आ गए, इतना ही फर्क आया है।
Let me also bring in Mr. Sharad Pradhan before Naveen Srivastava responds. Mr. Sharad Pradhan, would you agree? Because otherwise I am going to turn around and question the senior leadership of the police.
You know, the problem is, notwithstanding what Mr. Naveen Srivastava...
One at a time, please. Naveen Srivastava ji, रुक जाइए. Can I just hear Sharad Pradhan? Can I just hear Sharad Pradhan, please? One at a time, please. नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी, दोनों को सुन लीजिए, फिर आप जवाब दे दीजिएगा।
I hail what Mr. Rai said just now. बिल्कुल उन्होंने जो है 2 बात सामने रख दी है, बट नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी को बात अच्छी नहीं लगेगी क्योंकि वो बेचारे स्पोक्समैन है पार्टी के, उनकी मजबूरी है कि गलत को भी सही कहना है, तो आई डोंट ब्लेम हिम। वेल, द पॉइंट इज कि नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी इज नॉट बीन एबल टू पॉइंट आउट कि बाकी तो उन्होंने सारी बातें गुड़ी बताई। काश इस तरीके की हकीकत होती कि लोग काबिलियत पे पोस्ट होते। आज भी वही हो रहा है जिस तरह पहले होता था, और ये भी होता है कि लोग चाहे पैसा देके आ रहे हो, चाहे इन्फ्लुएंस से करवा के दिल्ली से आ रहे हो पोस्टिंग। यही वजह है कि बेईमान अफसर अभी भी बैठे हुए हैं। और आप इसमें भी आप देख लीजिए, जितनी इंपॉर्टेंट की पोजीशंस होती हैं पर्टिकुलरली पुलिस में, वहां में भ्रष्टाचार बिल्कुल अच्छी तरीके से कायम है, in the same manner as it was going on in Akhilesh Yadav's regime or Mayawati's regime or the Congress regime. There is no difference. The corrupt and the inefficient, they thrive. And that is why these criminals thrive. ये जो मिस्टर राय ने पॉइंट आउट किया है, बड़ी सिग्निफिकेंट बात है कि ये जो सो कॉल्ड एनकाउंटर्स हुए थे, उसमें जो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड अगर निकाला जाता है और बताए, ये बाकायदा इंसाइडर्स की बात है, उसमें अधिकतर लोग सिवाय करीब 20-30% जो एक्चुअल हार्डकोर क्रिमिनल्स थे, बाकी लोग छुटभइये जिन्हें कहा जाता है, पेटी क्रिमिनल्स, दे वर गन डाउन एंड नंबर्स बड़े दिखा दिए कि साहब इतने हो गए। अगर ये से एनकाउंटर हुआ होता तो दिस मैन वुड नॉट हैव बीन अलाइव टुडे टू कमिट व्हाट ही डिड इन लास्ट नाइट एंड मेनी अदर्स लाइक हिम। ये जो व्हाट यू तन्वी पॉइंटेड आउट दैट दीस क्रिमिनल्स, they switch loyalties with the party which is in power and that's the reason they enjoy immunity from the laws. And that is why this man also enjoyed immunity. ठीक है, आज आप मार देंगे, कल कोई दूसरा भी, ये तो पहले ही मार देना जाना चाहिए था. Action should be taken against those people who allowed him to continue with all. Can you imagine, दिन में इसने, ये सब बकवास बात है कि साहब उनको पुलिस को पता लगा कि ये टिपिकल ये स्टोरी बनाई जाती है कि साहब वो पता लगा कि गांव में आ गया है, अभी तक था नहीं. Everybody knows he was very much there. और एवरीबडी दिन में उसने लूट करी है, वहीं पे दिन में लूट करी है और खुलेआम. और पहली बार जब पुलिस वाले गए, एज आई पॉइंटेड आउट, उनको बाकायदा पीटा है उसने, जूते चप्पलों से और लाठी से मारा है, जो पहली टीम गई थी उसको. एंड ऑब्वियसली द सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस एंड अदर हायर अथॉरिटीज, उनमें आज दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं कई केसेस जो कि कावड़ियों पे फूल बरसा रहे थे हेलीकॉप्टर से, यूनिफॉर्म पहन करके, एंड वन एडिशनल डीजी रैंक ऑफिसर, वो आज वहां दिख रहे हैं वहां पे. जो वो उनसे पूछिए कि वो क्या कर रहे थे अभी तक, जब ये पता लग गया था कि वो इतनी उसके साथ है, इतना इंसोलेंट है, दैट ही इज रेडी टू बीट अप द कॉप्स who had come to not arrest him but to persuade him कि सरेंडर कर दो. पहले शुरू में यही प्लान था इनका. ये तो
ओके, ये है सवाल नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी, क्या कौन जवाबदारी मांगेगा सीनियर पुलिस लीडरशिप से? वो क्या कर रहे थे? ये कैसी प्लानिंग थी? इतने बड़े गैंगस्टर को पकड़ने गए और ऐसी बुरी तरीके से वहां पे उनको घेर लिया गया और उनपे फायरिंग कर दी गई. या तो फिर आप मुझे ये कह रहे हैं और आप ये मान रहे हैं कि आज भी जो आपकी टॉप पुलिस लीडरशिप है वो यूजलेस है, वो करप्ट है, वो किसी काम की नहीं?
देखिए, पत्रकार हैं और बीबीसी में रहे हैं, इनके पास बहुत सूचना स्रोत है. एक बड़ी अच्छी कहानी इन्होंने बताई, इनकी इनसाइड कहानी इनके पास हो सकती है क्योंकि बड़े चैनल में रहे, बड़े पत्रकार हैं. डीएम राय साहब बहुत प्रसिद्ध अधिकारी रहे, इनके पास भी बहुत सारी सूचनाएं हैं. देखिए, यह तो सबको पता है कि इतनी बड़ी घटना हुई है तो कहीं ना कहीं चूक हुई है और ये एक इन्वेस्टिगेशन का विषय है. इसको बैठ के भी चैनल पर हम आप तय नहीं कर सकते हैं कि वो कितनी तैयारी से गए, नहीं गए, कैसे क्या हुआ, घटना हुई, इसकी जांच हो रही है. सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या है कि जो बात में इनकाउंटर की, कि इनकाउंटर किए कोई हेलीकॉप्टर से, और शरद प्रधान साहब किसी अधिकारी का नाम दे रहे थे कि हेलीकॉप्टर से फूल बरसाते थे, कुछ लोगों को पकड़ के इनकाउंटर कर दिया गया. डीएम राय साहब कह रहे थे कि पुलिस संगठित अपराधियों का एक गिरोह हो गई. आज इस दर्दनाक घटना के समय भी इन लोगों को कहते हुए ये शर्म नहीं आ रही है कि हमारे वीर पुलिस के जवान किस प्रकार से अपराधियों से मुठभेड़ लेते हैं, किस प्रकार से घायल होते हैं, किस प्रकार से इनकी शहादत होती है, किस प्रकार से अपराधियों के नियंत्रण के लिए काम करते हैं. बैठ के चैनलों में डिबेट में अच्छी बात कर देना, मानवाधिकार की बात कर देना, अपराधियों के मानवाधिकार की बात कर देना, ये ऐसे लोग भी उतने ही दोषी हैं जितने हुए राजनेता जो ऐसे लोगों को राजनीतिक संरक्षण देते हैं. वो संरक्षण देते हैं, आप बौद्धिक संरक्षण देते हैं. आप ऐसे पत्रकार, आप ऐसे रिटायर्ड बड़े अधिकारी इस प्रकार से अपराधियों को जो बौद्धिक संरक्षण देते हैं और अपनी पुलिस बल का मनोबल गिराते हैं, इसकी मैं बहुत घोर निंदा करता हूँ. यह शर्मनाक है समाज के लिए.
ये नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी, एक मुझे बात बोलनी है. एक तो हम क्योंकि डिबेट में गुस्सा दिखा के चिल्लम चिल्ली करना हमारी आदत नहीं, पर अगर कोई मेरी डिबेट में किसी दूसरे पैनलिस्ट को पर्सनली अटैक करता है, उनके प्रोफेशन पे या उनके पर्सनली उन पे कमेंट मारता है, तो मुझे एक बात समझ में आ जाती है कि उस गेस्ट के पास कोई ठोस आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं है. कोई ठोस आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं है आज आपके पास नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी. तो बहुत इजी है कि आप मेरे पैनलिस्ट पे उंगली पॉइंट करके उनको बोले. आप चिल्लाए मत, आपके चिल्लाने से यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं होगा. मैं आराम से आपसे बात कर रही हूँ. मेरा सवाल आपसे सीधा है, मेरा सवाल आपसे सीधा है. 3 साल हो गए, 3 साल हो गए आदित्यनाथ गवर्नमेंट को, 3 साल हो गए आदित्यनाथ गवर्नमेंट को, और कितने साल तक आप पिछली सरकार को ब्लेम करेंगे पुलिस की हालात के लिए? 3 साल हो गए. छोटे क्रिमिनल का एनकाउंटर करना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, एक बड़े क्रिमिनल को, गैंगस्टर को पकड़ने आप गए और देखिए पुलिस की सच्चाई बाहर आ गई. अब सुनिए, आप सुनिए.
कोई इनकाउंटर नहीं हुए आज हमारी.
नहीं, पहली बात तो आप ये मानिए ये कि आपके पास कोई आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं तो आप पर्सनली अटैक नहीं करते दूसरों को. ये गलत है.
मेरे पास आर्गुमेंट,
आपसे जो सवाल पूछा जा रहा है, आप जो बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता हैं उसके हिसाब से जवाब दीजिए. दूसरों पे उंगली उठाना आपका काम नहीं है. यहाँ पे आपको अपनी पॉलिटिकल फाइट करनी है. आप समाजवादी पार्टी को जो बोलना है आप बोलिए, उससे ऊपर मैं एक्सेप्ट नहीं करूंगी यहाँ पे नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी. एक सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट है और एक फॉर्मर डीजीपी है. प्लीज शो देम दैट रिस्पेक्ट. Now, my simple question to you is, it's been 3 years, Naveen Srivastava, since the BJP came to power with Yogi Adityanath at the helm of it. Please tell me, what are the changes you brought within the police system? What is the extent of training? आप चिल्लाते चले जाएंगे तो बात नहीं हो पाएगी. मेरा सवाल तो सुन लीजिए. मैं 3 बार वही सवाल पूछ चुकी हूँ, मुझे जवाब नहीं मिला है.
ये शर्मनाक है कि नहीं है, ये बता दीजिए आप. अगर आपको लगता है कि उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस का सम्मान इस तरह से बढ़ा रहे हो,
क्या आप मुझे ये लिखित में दे सकते हैं? क्या आप मुझे लिखित में दे सकते हैं कि जो उत्तर प्रदेश की पूरी पुलिस फोर्स है वो बहुत एफिशिएंट है और बहुत क्लीन है, इसलिए आज भी अपराधी घूम रहे हैं? 3 साल से क्यों नहीं पकड़ पाए इसको? 3 साल से वो उसी घर में उसी जगह रह रहा है ना. ये आप ही के बीजेपी एमएलए की कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी है ना, तो क्या हुआ फिर?
2017 में यह गिरफ्तार किया गया था हमारी सरकार ने, 1.5 साल जेल में रहा है. क्या बात कर रही हैं आप?
2020 में कहाँ है वो? कहाँ है वो? 50 से ज्यादा केसेस हो गए, वो बाहर है कि नहीं जेल के?
जेल से बाहर हुआ.
आपने हजारों एनकाउंटर कर दिए. ये जो आदमी है जिसके अगेंस्ट 50 से ज्यादा केसेस हैं, वो जेल के अंदर है या बाहर है? बताइए मुझे. नहीं नहीं, हाँ क्या कर रहे हैं वही मैं पूछ रही हूँ आपसे. वही मैं पूछ रही हूँ आपसे. आप जो हर बार आके मुझे ये आंकड़े गिना देते हैं एनकाउंटर के, इसका एनकाउंटर क्यों नहीं कर पाए?
मत करिए मैडम.
क्यों नहीं कर पाए इसका एनकाउंटर?
समझिए कि 2017 में जब हमारी सरकार बनी, हमने गिरफ्तार किया. 1.5 साल.
3 साल से आपकी सरकार है, वो आदमी बाहर है आज.
कहाँ बाहर है?
बताइए क्या किए, कैसे बदलाव किया आपने पुलिस में?
वो जेल में था. हमारी सरकार में 17 में
जेल में हुआ ये सीन? जेल में हुआ है सीन या उसके घर पे हुआ है? उसके गांव में हुआ है, उसके घर पे हुआ है. विकास दुबे आज फरार है. नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी, आप कौन सी दुनिया में रह रहे हैं? जेल में नहीं हुआ, ये बाहर था वो जेल के.
हमारी सरकार में ये गिरफ्तार हुआ, जेल में था, जमानत पर छूटा, फरार हो गया. तो हमारी पुलिस लगी हुई थी लगातार इसके पीछे. पुलिस पकड़ने के लिए जब गई तो ये दर्दनाक घटना हुई. और आप बहुत आसानी से कह रहे कि 3 साल आप क्या कर रहे थे? 3 साल में हमने सरकार बनते ही गिरफ्तार किया, 1.5 साल जेल में रख के उसके खिलाफ सारी कार्रवाइयां की. आज भी पुलिस फोर्स वहां गई तो उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करने के लिए. लेकिन मुझको ताज्जुब ये हो रहा है कि उत्तर प्रदेश की बहादुर पुलिस फोर्स को एक रिटायर्ड पुलिस अधिकारी संगठित गुंडों का गिरोह कर रहा है. उसको आपको खराब लग रहा है. मेरी बात आपको खराब लग रही है, मैं जोर से बोल रहा हूँ.
नवीन श्रीवास्तव जी, ये ना आपकी पार्टी की बीमारी है. मेरा समय खत्म हो चुका है. आपकी पार्टी को ये प्रॉब्लम है. आपको लगता है हर जगह आप जो है ना पेट्रियोटिज्म और नेशनलिज्म का आर्ग्यूमेंट देके जीत जाएंगे. ये भूलिए मत कि ये वही उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस है जो ठाई ठाई की आवाजें करती है ट्रेनिंग में. ये भूलिए मत कि हर हफ्ते जो है ट्रेनिंग का एक ऐसा वीडियो आता है जिसपे सवाल उठाए जाते हैं कि ऐसे अगर उनकी ट्रेनिंग होगी तो कैसे वो मुस्लिम जो है मुजरिमों को पकड़ेंगे. यहाँ पे बैठ के ये बोलना कि उत्तर प्रदेश की पुलिस बहुत महान है, मेरे सवाल उनके लोअर ग्राउंड की पुलिसमैन पे नहीं है, लेकिन जो सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स बैठे हैं ना, जो कुछ कर नहीं रहे, उन पे ये सवाल उठाया जा रहा है. और उनको डिफेंड करने के बजाय अगर बीजेपी की सरकार उनसे सवाल पूछे और बदलाव लाए तो बेटर होगा. Petty criminals are easy to catch. Petty criminals are easy to kill in an encounter. The real change in a law and order system of a state will only come about if you start catching the big guys. The one time you actually found an opportunity to go and catch the big guy, look what's happened. 8 of our policemen are dead. Do not now tell me to not question the police. I will, because 8 policemen are dead. What was the level of planning? What was the level of infrastructure, training that has been given to these policemen? Why have their lives been lost? And accountability has to be sought. And I will ask those questions irrespective of who is in power. Thank you so much for joining us in this debate.